Hello and welcome to another weekly update. I really hope you're doing well. I had a good week last week and managed to refresh a bit over the weekend, and now into this week, and things are happening. Not tons of news this week, so I'm going to keep this one really short because it feels like everybody's busy doing things, and that's certainly the case over here as well. There's lots of things kicking off. It's Microsoft's new financial year. That sort of happened back in July, but with all the summer holiday breaks and everything like that, it's only now that it's really starting to ramp up, and we're starting to feel the effects of it, and we're starting to see some of the plans that Microsoft have for this financial year really kick in terms of their messaging and the things they're asking of their customers and of their partners. And so that's been really interesting, and I think we'll see that come through in new projects that get kicked off and new announcements. We've had a few things already. I mean, obviously the big focus for Microsoft generally right now is all around what's happening with Windows 11, and that completely makes sense. So some other things like that. In terms of kind of Teams news and what's happening in Teams, not a ton of new announcements or anything like that, new innovation particularly. There are some things to talk through, which we're going to do in a minute. But I think eyes now are going to be on the lead up to Ignite. I think it feels like it's going to be quite a long lead up to Ignite. And then we've also got a number of community conferences and stuff happening now in this sort of time from here until Christmas. I think we'll see a lot of kind of community activity as well. So plenty of things to talk through for sure. So let's start with what are we going to start with first? Okay, so let's go for this one, which is a community blog post by Surya Pami. It's all about Microsoft Teams, and it's all about collaboration. And actually, I'm going to come back to that one because that feels like something I'm going to ramble about. So I want to talk about the other thing first and get that done, because that's more operationally important. It's more technical, and then I can ramble about the other thing. So the other thing that's happened that I want to talk through today is a blog post on the Microsoft Graph blog post by Rabia Williams. So she's put together this blog post about building a multi-tenanted architecture for SaaS apps. So this is kind of really interesting. So this is for people building SaaS applications, and specifically where that crosses over into multi-tenancy and how to create multi-tenanted apps in Microsoft 365. So this is one of those technologies. It's one of those pieces of key information that you will need if you're building a true SaaS solution using Microsoft 365, and you want to do that with kind of a multi-tenancy application. Specifically, the problem you're kind of solving here as well is if your current deployment model for a SaaS involves you deploying, like creating an app on the customer's tenant, making them having them give you their app ID and secret, having them set up all the permissions, all that sort of stuff. You don't have to do any of that. You can do it a different way, which is what a multi-tenanted app is. I do this for different SaaS services. It's the kind of recommended model, if you like, for doing it. It's a really nice model actually, where the SaaS provider takes on all of the work is kind of done by the SaaS provider, and it's not a lot of work, it's just configuration really, but it means that for the customer it's a really nice end user experience. Even for the admin, it's a very nice end user admin experience as well. They don't have to go and create anything in Azure, they don't have to trade secrets and keys. All they have to do is review security permissions and accept them, and they get a lot of visibility in their tenant as to what's going on as well. It's not like it's a hidden magical thing. They can see all the logins, they can see the activity, they can turn off that access at any time. So it's a really nice model. What has been missing, I think, has been a good walkthrough of exactly how you're supposed to do it in Microsoft 365, and I think that's what Rabia gives us here, along with I don't know who it is actually. There's a video, so there's a whole write-up on a blog post which has got links to sample code. It's got some documents on it as well, some diagrams, on it as well. You can see to help you understand how this stuff works. And then there's a video here with Rabia doing the coding, and then this gentleman here, whose name I don't know. Sorry, let's see if I can't find that out. Doing the commentary. Got it. So perhaps it'll say in here, oh, it's Bob German. Of course it is. I didn't see that from the thumbnail. I didn't. Sorry, Bob. So yeah, Bob German and Rabia Williams. So that's going to be a really good video to watch. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but this is worth your watch, I should think. Yeah, this is a really kind of cool idea where one person's doing the coding, the other person is doing the commentary, and they go through this whole process of setting up a multi-tenanted application. So this is gold dust if this is what you need to do right now. If in your project at work or whatever it is you're doing, your side hustle or whatever it is, you need to figure out multi-tenanted architecture. This is the blog post for you. This is the video you need to be watching. So super useful. All right, I said I was going to talk about something else and go on for a bit, and let's do that now. So, Surapami, community blog on the Microsoft Teams community blog site in Tech Community, has put together a little blog post about empowering collaboration in Microsoft Teams. So, what is this talking about? Well, it's talking about the maturity of Microsoft Teams. It's talking about where everybody is at on the journey of collaboration, moving people over to Teams, what the pandemic has done, this maturity curve around, that you've got the basics, then you've got sort of consistency stuff, you've got simplification, and you've got modernization. Now, the area in which I play is very much this modernization line of business applications, Teams applications, the platform, how you build on your existing Teams investment. That's all the stuff I get really interested in. But I understand that actually, that's a big ask for a lot of a lot of business leaders, a lot of tech leaders at the moment, where maybe their maturity is further down here. So this is an interesting blog post to kind of remind you of that, to kind of set the scene, if you like. And also in this blog post, there's a kind of push out to simple things that can be done to bring people up to that modernization level. Things like using apps like Tasks and To Do. For me, though, this is an interesting blog post because it kind of sets the scene for some of the stuff that I was thinking around doing as well this year and going into next year. And I think there's there's some stuff that I want to kind of push in on around the business case for Microsoft Teams and around the value, if you like, of building apps on the platform for Microsoft Teams. I think there's some things that can be said there. I think I can kind of help pitch that. It's not all necessarily about the technicals, and like technically we know all the things that we can do on Microsoft Teams, and the platform for Microsoft Teams is a rich development platform, and there's plenty going on there. But that's only part of the story. The technical how is only part of the story. That the business why is also really important, and so helping to help business leaders understand the why of Microsoft Teams development, I think is also really important, and it's something I want to lean into kind of going into next year. And I think things like this blog post remind me that this is not, not every organization is kind of willing and ready to jump straight into Microsoft Teams apps straight away. And that's not to say that's not a bad thing. That's not to kind of to beat up on those companies and those organizations. It's just that's just not where they're at, and it would be silly of them to put all their investment and time into that place where, if that's not where the organization is right now, they need to focus on where the organization is at. And it's okay to recognize, on the roadmap, they're on that journey, and they're just not in that place yet, but here are the steps that they need to take to get on that journey and get in that place. And some of those things are, some of the things can help them. So I think, I believe there are things in the modernization bucket, if you like, things like line of business applications, things like existing first-party Teams applications that can help push the other things, can help move people along that maturity curve by ticking some of the boxes and helping make it more, consistent use, helping automation, helping process flows, moving people along that maturity curve. It doesn't have to be, you have to wait until everything is perfect before you layer on apps. It is both two things. Like, apps are at the end of the maturity model, but also apps can help you get to that end of the maturity model. So it is almost a virtuous circle. So there's a lot of stuff that's in my head at the moment, and getting that out into a clear message is something that I need to focus on, I think, in the coming months, because I think it's really important. And I think that will make sense to a lot of people where they're at right now with Microsoft Teams adoption. So, little insight into my thinking and my planning for kind of, the next 6 to 12 months. There's plenty of other things going on that I need to do as well. We've got, South Coast Summit coming out really soon. I'm going to be doing a blog post about that this week, because all the sessions are out, I think, for that. So time to do session choices for South Coast Summit. And then also working on my book as well. That's going to be out hopefully this year as well. That's my goal to myself, is to get it out this year. So we'll see. There's plenty of interesting things happening right now. Lots to concentrate on. So I should stop talking and let you get on with your week, and I'm going to go and concentrate on some of those things. And whatever it is you're doing this week, have a great one, and I will talk to you again next time.